Yeah. Uh, Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible to me, Raj. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you, and good afternoon. And how are
Very good
you?
afternoon. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking, Raj. All right. So, how's your day shaping up, Raj?
I have been doing all the normal routine that I do. Like I started my day with newspaper, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been after 2 weeks maybe that I could finish it. I was not able to read it properly, but today I
Mm-hmm.
gave proper time that I generally give. That is around an hour. And after that I tried to write something, and even that I did for an hour today, and now I'm here.
Okay, so that's wonderful to hear that you give at least an hour reading newspaper. So that is really good. So, of course, that improves a lot of your thinking skills and your speaking skills as well simultaneously.
Yeah,
Okay, so how's your journey going with English, Ari?
it's been nice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Attended a couple of more sessions with the mentors, Raj?
yes, of course. It's like
Mm-hmm.
in ninth or tenth session maybe it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're getting feedbacks?
Yeah, of course. And the feedback are more or less similar, that I am aware of this my situation as well. And only thing is that I need to work on vocabulary, and more often I get that I should laugh more, and that the expression thing is not coming out that way. And
Mm-hmm.
this has been common. I have
This
been
has
getting
been.
this for a year now, and I have improved a lot in this. But of course, even today I get this. So sometimes I feel that okay, I have still a long way to go.
Yeah, right, of course. I'm sure because body language plays a very important role. And if I remember right, even I gave you that same feedback in my previous session that everything is going well,
Yeah,
but then you need to be a little more flexible with your facial expression there when you're talking.
right, right.
All right. So that's surely going to shape up soon, I'm sure. So are you prepared with the sessions document today that we're going to
And
discuss
I
about?
would like to share one more thing
Yeah.
about the last time, that was the first time I was having a session along with somebody at my home. I mean, there were guests at my home. I had left the room open, the door open, and that was the
Mm-hmm.
first time. So I was happy after the session ended. I was happy that okay, even in this situation, I can talk. I hardly hesitate now. Earlier, when I
Yes.
had started, there was a sense of feeling in me that goes in head that okay, the people will listen and they will start thinking that what the hell he is trying to do, what the hell he
Mm-hmm.
wants to prove, and all that sort of thinking was there,
Hmm.
which has
Hmm.
vanished. So that is a good sign for me.
That's a good sign. That's a positive sign. That is somewhere down the line showing me that you are now way more confident with your English communication skills, Raj. Of course, because when
Yeah,
you open up and start speaking in front of people, that is why your public speaking skill is also getting polished simultaneously.
right, right.
Okay, all right. So it is going to improve more with a lot of practice. I'm sure that this is something which is going to shape up very good for you going forward.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Okay, so let's just proceed further with the session with the document today that we are going to discuss, Raj. So have you been through it?
Yeah, I have not been through it, but I came up. This is a nice topic, book,
Uh-huh.
books versus television. And if
Oh, so
I give my,
you just
yeah,
mhm. You just
if I
have
start, sorry, go on.
that's okay. You can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was saying that I just looked the topic and I could not go in detail and read about that. But this is a nice topic. We can talk anytime, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
I talk about my experiences in the terms of books versus television, then like we say that every coin has two sides. It just depends upon the uses that we do. So if we take books, of course, there is no harm that is going to be done in terms of books. No matter how we use it, it is going to benefit us. And if we use properly, it is going to give the most of it to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about television, that can be used in both ways, and it solely depend on us that whether we are using it for right purposes or we are just wasting our time and effort and energy.
Mm-hmm.
So in even in that terms, if we differentiate between these two, I think book has an upper hand, and it will always have, because when we make books our friends, we are not alone ever. No matter, sometimes we feel alone, we can have that book and read. And then reading not only heals our mind, but it enlightens our mind in such different ways that can benefit us in different ways. And if I talk about the benefits, of course, the moment we start reading, it helps us to shape our mind. It provides us knowledge which is beneficial in different ways in the real world. So these are the things that book offers us, and we should definitely look forward to reading it. And we no matter what we are doing, we should maintain that if we get a time, if we get times, we have a book with us and we could read that, because it is going to help us. In
Okay.
terms of television, if I say, like I told earlier, that it depends on us that how we use. So if we are looking forward to entertain only, then
Mm-hmm.
also it is good for some time. But if we are like we say that overdoing anything is not going to help us, and it harms us in different ways. So if we
Mm-hmm.
keep on entertaining us in that way, we would be wasting a lots of our time. In that way, we should restrict our time on television. And apart from the entertainment, there are so many facilities available in today's era, especially with the smart TV and all that. We can use different apps on TV itself. So we can use all of those things as well. Apart from entertainment, we can use it for study purposes as well, and gaining knowledge in different ways. It's not only about the course material, but having knowledge of different aspects, whatever is going in the world, and other things as well.
All right. We can be globally connected through
Right,
television. We can have the idea of what is going around the globe, right? And that is where
right,
we are more aware. The awareness, the terminology can be a little different when you're talking that. Okay, so don't go with basic English. Try to use different types of terminologies in your conversation, like we are globally connected, or we'll be well aware of the fact that what is happening around the globe. So try to work
right, right.
like that when you're speaking. All right. So when I talk about books, like you said, books, reading books is a very healthy habit. Okay. How do you think that reading books can be beneficial in your day to day life? What benefits can it bring to your day to day life or your routine? That.
I would like to give or support the answer from a personal experience of mine. So,
Mm-hmm.
for that, I would like to explain a little bit about myself, how
Okay.
pessimist I was, and how I changed my thought process. So, if we talk about politics and bureaucracy, the kind of corruption that is prevalent in our society, nobody
Mm-hmm.
can disagree to that. And in my case, I was so pessimistic about all these things that I was not able to accept the positive side of this, because there is a balance. If there are 90% corrupt people or officers there, then of course there are 10% who are trying to balance it out, and only because of that this is running smoothly. Even though the corruption is prevalent, it is still running, and we are maintaining a country like this. uh, so such a huge population we have. We are about to cross China, or maybe we have crossed,
We
probably
have
we have
crossed
crossed China
already.
as well. Yeah, we have
Mm-hmm.
already crossed China. So in all terms of that, there is someone who is trying to balance it out, and because of which the system is running smoothly. So
Okay. I'll
I
just
used
interrupt
to
you
think
here.
only about the pessimistic thought, and I
Hmm.
used to think only about the negative side of this, that okay, there is nothing but corruption and poverty, and nobody is trying to do anything out. So no matter which department we take, we have to do a lot to cover up all those things and then come in the mainstream so that we could start focusing on right things properly and then provide the better facilities to everyone. But if we look at the other side, of course, the plans, the schemes are there, no matter whether the 100% are going to the beneficiaries or not, but the plans are there and government is spending. So the problem is not only with the government side, it is with the people as well. If we are not aware, we would not be able to take the benefit in a pure way. And ultimately, who it is us who have to go to the different centers to take the benefits. And if something is fishy in those department, we have the grievances system as well, so we
Hmm.
can go and complain. So whenever we avoid, we are the person who is culprit in this, the corruption and all. So I started
Okay.
thinking about all this, and when I started reading books and self-help improvement books, that changed the whole ideology in my mind, that okay, there are so many people who are doing their bit. It's just that we have to think about the positive side, and we have to think about the little bit of contribution that we can share, because nothing can be changed overnight. It will take time. Whatever situation is being prevalent, it will change over time. It cannot uh, change overnight, and from the next day, not everybody can become a saint. The way they are living, and the way, it's like all these things will keep on happening. It's just
Hmm.
that we can minimize that, or we can share our bit. So I started thinking all this kind of thought, and I started changing my pessimism into optimism. And all this happened because of those books that I read. Uh, I would like to give the names of the books as well. Like
Hmm.
the one book that I read, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor A. Frankl, that no
Hmm.
matter how bad situation you are in, you should always have a positive mindset, and you should always have a goal in your mind. If you are
Hmm.
clear with that, then only you would be able to focus on yourself. You would be able to try to change yourself to for betterment, and then you will reach ultimately to your goal. So
Hmm.
when I read that, and I read that was the story of a Holocaust survivor, that intrigued me, that yes, even after being in such bad situation, one person can think like this. Then why not us? Why am I keep blaming on government officials and all, instead of concentrating on myself, that what have I done till now, what I can do from here onwards, whether for myself first, of course, and then after that for family and society as well. So
Okay.
these things happen. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Okay, so that is where reading books made you more optimistic to things rather than being very negative towards the things like politics, or maybe things like uh, the the survival of the fittest factor, right? So
Yeah,
that
right,
is where
right,
it changed a lot of things in your mindset there. So it gave you a lot of positivity. It gave you a lot
right,
of strength. It gave you a lot of encouragement for that matter. All right. So these
right,
terminologies can be used for your explanations there, Raj. Okay.
right.
So that is where you
Yeah,
can be using. All right. So very well explained and very well connected to the answer there. I must congratulate you for this, Raj. Okay.
okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Another thing that I would want to again tell you here is that when you are talking and when you are trying to explain yourself, there may be a lot of times when the other person might want to say something to you in between, Raj. Okay? Now, this
Yeah,
is
right.
something very important that I really want you to have a look at or have an idea about. So, you should be cautious enough that when you're talking, if somebody is interrupting you in between, you should give that person a chance to speak.
Right, right,
That's the ethics of any communication, right?
right,
So that is where don't get so engrossed with your explanation that even if the person is trying to put up something in front of you, you are just very in the flow that you are explaining yourself. There's no harm
right,
into it, Raj, but then a lot of time when you're professionally active and you're talking to people and explaining your points to people and you don't give them a chance to speak, people get offended,
right, right,
right? So at the back of your mind, keep that point very active that if a person is interrupting me in between and want to correct me or tell me something in between, I must give that person that space when he or
right.
she is speaking or when I'm speaking. All right.
Yeah,
Other than
sure.
that, the answers were pretty good that you have put up. So another thing that I would want to tell you is that, like, if I compare reading with visuals or with graphics, what makes you more happier and connecting? Is it books, the reading part, or is it graphics, the watching part? What remains with you longer and why?
I would definitely say that the whenever we read with the graphics, that stays longer with me, and that is the point I was coming to when I was trying to explain about television. That there is a lot of things that we can do on television itself in terms of
Hmm.
uh, enlarging our knowledge. Uh, so, in terms of that, even if we look forward to having those kind of messages or those kind of process to our children that okay, if you are not reading, you should go after these plans or these channels where you can
Hmm.
see these things on television itself. So in that term, even television can be beneficial as beneficial as book. And
All
that is
right.
what I meant when I said that it's all depends upon the usage that we do.
How we use the things.
Right.
All right. So that is where it's not enlarging your knowledge, it's upgrading your knowledge or upskilling your knowledge.
Okay.
Okay? And
Yeah, sure.
enlarging can be a word that might not fit into what you're trying to say. So try to use
Okay. Yeah.
upskill, try to use upgrade.
Right.
Okay? The choice
Right.
of words should also fall into place when you're speaking. There's no harm in saying
Sure.
enlarging your knowledge, but then more appropriate word would be upgrading or upskilling your knowledge there. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, as a person, when I'm seeing you, I can see that more of the reading makes you happier as compared to watching TV or spending time on internet. Raj.
Yeah, of course. And if I generally if I talk about the way I have changed, that's all
Mm-hmm.
because of the books. And
Mm-hmm.
if I talk about the past, then more
Mm-hmm.
often I used to indulge myself in watching TV, and
Mm-hmm.
more often I used to watch movies and all. So when you are upset, the TV becomes the medium of uh, helping you out of that situation and healing you in
Mm-hmm.
a better way. But of course, at the same time, I would not disagree that books are not enough to heal you. Even book can heal you. It just depends on your mood and what you are reading.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, is there any specific disadvantages that you are coming across when I'm talking about televisions or smartphones? Any specificality that this is why you should not be using it? Do you have any of such ideas in your mind?
Of course, and the way I told you in the very first line that if we are wasting our time, so no matter what we are doing, it will end up helping nothing to us. And in that way, no matter which app we use, if I talk about the social media, the Facebook or Instagram, and the way reels are in trend, so all these things are making us a person that is unsocial. We are becoming more antisocial. or
Not
not unsocial,
unsocial.
yeah,
Yeah.
antisocial. So we are focusing more on privacy, but at the
Do,
same
do you
time,
think that do you think that anti-social is the correct word here, Raj?
yeah, the way it is used. I mean,
What is anti-social?
I have come across the word, and there are some topics as well that social media is making us antisocial, and by antisocial they mean that we are not accepting the society as a person, and we are trying to be private in our own space, no matter
Probably we
where
are
we
not
are.
gelling up more
Yeah,
with people around, and we're
right.
trying to find our own comfort and privacy place for us.
Yeah,
That's
right,
your ideology behind anti-social, I guess.
right.
All right. Okay, so a lot of social media can make you antisocial.
Yeah. and
Okay,
and
right.
the another
Mhm.
thing that is happening is we are unable to concentrate on anything, like we are even unable to watch the 30 seconds or 50 seconds video. Even in that we keep scrolling, and just after 10 seconds. So to some extent that helps, or that creates a problem in your head somewhere, that makes you a person who is not able to concentrate on uh, some particular thing. To some extent, that's what I feel.
All right. Okay. So that's where the answer was well done
And
on your
another
part.
thing that I would, yeah, sorry
Mm-hmm.
to interrupt, but
Mm-hmm.
another thing that I would like to add in this answer is especially the kids. If you see the kids and their pattern, they are keen to watch videos and play video games, and have forgotten going outside and playing outdoor games. So that has created a problem in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And another problem with that is more often the kids at very young age get spectacles. So that is another concern that I am concerned about, and that we are having or creating a trouble for ourselves after being glued to our screen, whether computer or TV or mobile.
If we have a lot of screen
Yeah,
time, these are the issues that we are coming across when we are
all right.
too much addicted to those things. All right. Okay. So here, one thing that I would want to highlight here, Raj, apart from everything that you are doing, it's going well, of course. You need to be a little more precautious about your pronunciation as well. I think I gave you this feedback in your previous session also,
Yes,
because when
of
you
course.
are saying words like social, when you're saying words like differentiate, all right. So there is a
Okay,
chance, a factor that is affecting your pronunciation skills.
okay,
And if I'm not
right.
wrong, I gave you that this is where you can practice by jotting down these words for yourself, and you can keep repeating those words in your day to day conversations that it would
Yeah,
improve
of
better.
course. And this S and SH problem I have been facing from early on, and I have worked a lot on this, but even today, sometimes it comes that way.
Yes, of
So
course. That's
yeah,
the MTI effect. That is the mother tongue influence that you have it in your communication. So that is where try working on that part as well, because a lot of time when you're speaking well and if your pronunciation is not that strong, that can create a impression which cannot be that impressive. Okay.
right.
If a
Yeah,
person is about to give you nine, the person can give you eight there. Okay. So this is the
okay.
impact of pronunciation. This is the impact of accent when you're speaking in terms of English specifically. Raj. Okay. So I do
Yeah,
want you to work on
sure.
that particular aspect as well. Rest, I think that things are going well. You are able to explain yourself really well with the conversation. The grammatical errors are also not that huge or not that big that I should be highlighting them. It is going to work with the focus of time. Okay. But yes, non-verbal part needs improvement. That. Okay. When I'm
Okay.
talking about the
Yeah,
modulation, when I'm talking about the intonation part, these are the areas apart from your facial expression. Since you're working on your facial expression, I won't be
yeah,
thinking
right.
on that. Okay. But then your
Okay,
intonation needs to be improvised. Your voice modulations needs to be improvised. When you're trying to say something important, try to stress on those areas. Okay, raise
Right.
your volume, use your hand gestures when you're explaining things. That makes you more connected with your audience. Okay, so
Right.
this is the non-verbal part which I want you to focus going forward now in your sessions, which is going to add up to the skill, Raj.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, so is there anything else, Raj, that you would want to say before we wrap up here today?
Oh, I do not have any question in particular,
Mm-hmm.
and it was lovely session, of course, like always. Yeah.
Right, of course. The session was good. It was interactive, and when I'm seeing you explaining your points very effectively, I feel really happy for that matter. Okay, and that is the reason I try to give in some good feedbacks to you so that it can always upscale your skills. Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So keep
Yeah.
practicing until we're meeting next. Right.
Yeah, sure. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Bye for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
See you in another session.
Of course. Looking forward to that, Raj. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.